Hey loves, it's Maggie here. Okay, we're going to try live video again today because yesterday it appeared that it wasn't working at all, or it was breaking up and I don't know what happened. So I redid the video. So lesson one of our lesson series this week and next week, I don't know for how long we're going to do this, is still available in the group and on YouTube as well. So if you missed that lesson, lesson one, we talked about the roots and my Saturn return that I am now in, which is very related to the root chakra, I feel. So if you missed that video, go ahead and watch it. It's still in the group and like I said, on YouTube as well. So yeah, it's Maggie here with our second lesson. So I'm doing this little series. I kind of just came up with it the other day, where I'm sharing with you some of the lessons and little nuggets of wisdom that I have learned throughout my journey and that have helped me so much. And I'm just really excited to share it with you. I feel that's why I'm here. So today we are going to talk about our hearts. And the heart has a very interesting story around it. The heart has its own very powerful electromagnetic field around it. I believe I read somewhere scientists, they can measure up to 10 feet around us coming from our hearts, that electromagnetic field. And that is only what they can measure right now. So it may even be a lot bigger. And there's something really interesting going on with our hearts and our heart's frequency. And as I was reading and learning a little bit more about this, I really feel that in truth, we all instinctively and intuitively, I feel we already know this, right? We already know that our heart is very important, especially when we're on our journeys of more self-awareness, our spiritual journeys. Walking this path, we become so much more aware of how important the heart really is for us. The same with our wombs and our lower chakras that we talked about yesterday. So the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I was recently watching a documentary by Greg Braden. And I don't know if you know his work, but I find it really interesting because he is a scientist and he beautifully links spirituality with science. He just seems very wise to me, that he doesn't want to prove anything. And I really like that when I watch documentaries, just to give myself the opportunity to figure out what I believe or see or what my perspective is. And I really feel that he awakens that in a way. And I watched the documentary on Gaia, by the way, Gaia.com. Greg Braden did a whole series there. I think it's called Missing Links. Really interesting. So if you have a membership to Gaia, I would check it out. But in this particular episode, he talks about research from the Heart Math Institute. And I've heard about this before. I think that they've been doing it for years, this kind of research, right? But it's very fascinating. So I'm going to share this with you. That I feel there's always, I feel there's always more information coming out, right? But what I'm going to share with you today is that there is always a never-ending conversation of emotion-based signals going on between our hearts and our brain. And that is known as the heart-brain connection, right? And why is this important? Well, it's the quality of this signal that is sent to our brain from our hearts determine what kind of chemicals our brains release into our bodies. So what that means is that when we feel negative emotions like hate or jealousy, anger, fear, this results in more stress in our bodies, right? Reflecting that irregular and kind of chaotic nature of those emotions. They're not peaceful and calm, right? Then on the other hand, when we feel these rejuvenating, I guess, emotions like gratitude and appreciation and love, that creates harmony, right? Our brain then senses that calmness, and there's no need for that fight or flight response from the brain sending that to our bodies, that we have to be scared or in fear, right? Does that make sense? So feeling gratitude and love or appreciation, it allows stress hormones to decrease, and the heart and the brain, they kind of shift and produce a different chemistry that actually supports us. It supports our immune system, our good hormones. It literally raises our frequency, right? And it is so beautiful that science and spirituality overlap here, as we so often, see even with quantum physics, right? I've talked about that before. Science can now prove that there is a relationship between the heart and the brain. And ancient practices have been tapping into this for thousands and thousands of years. It's now just being proven that it is actually measurable and there. And so in this documentary, he shares a simple exercise that you can do, daily, whatever. And it goes like this, and we're going to do it together. So what you do to activate this heart-brain connection, right? So what you do is focus on your heart space. And as soon as you focus on your heart space, you automatically start to breathe a little bit slower, right? You can feel yourself calm down. And if you don't feel that, you can make yourself feel calmer. So breathe into your heart. And just doing that already sends a signal to your body that you're safe, right? Can you feel that shift? And then activate a positive feeling. And then what you're going to do is experience it truly. So you can trigger this by feeling appreciation for someone or something. You can feel deep love or joy. You're creating a high vibration feeling, right? And embrace the feeling. You kind of exhale into it, like, so let's do that right now. Focus on your heart, breathe into your heart, and then trigger a feeling. Appreciation, love, joy, gratitude for something in your life. Can you feel it kind of just makes your heart flutter? And sustaining that feeling, however often you can, it will only strengthen and maintain that conversation between your heart and your brain. And why you want that is because that is where your intuition will come into play. Your heart and your intuition, your body basically is always whispering to you, is always giving you the answers you seek, right? This way, by breathing into your heart, you can even ask questions and get an answer, right? So you can play with that for yourself. Is the video still working all right? I guess it looks like it is. So when looking at the chakras then, yesterday we talked a little bit about the root chakra. The heart chakra is the middle point between our lower chakras and the upper chakras, right? So it's the middle point between our roots, our sacral chakra, and our solar plexus, the lower chakras, and then the heart in the middle, and then our throat, third eye, and crown chakras. And this is so beautiful, such a beautiful realization and such a beautiful practice to drop into your heart space because of that electromagnetic field that we talked about, when we truly strengthen and kind of reactivate that center, we start to strengthen that electromagnetic field as well. And as the word already implies, it's magnetic. So through that energy, through that, through those positive experiences that we can trigger within ourselves, we become more magnetic, right? So when linking that to magnetizing and kind of manifesting, you know, creating new projects or new ideas or things that you would like to see in your life, when you look at that whole chakra system that way, let's visualize that. Let's visualize that for a moment together, how I see that in front of me. So when creating or we have inspirations or ideas, or we want to express certain things, right? Because we're always creating and wanting to bring forth. So we're really planting a seed, right? We're planting a seed in our lower chakras. Really, we're planting a seed literally in our womb spaces to be cultivated and sprouted from there. That is kind of our fertile soil, right? But at the same time, we're also visioning and thinking with our upper chakras, right? And at the same time, we're feeling it with our hearts. Then we're bringing it forth through our lower chakras again, and we're grounding it in. We're bringing it forth through our yonis while activating our inner power center, our solar plexus, to see it through, to have that drive to actually pursue this, and have conscious thoughts and inspiration from our upper chakras again, right? To take that inspired action, to use our conscious mind to take those next steps. And I like to see this process as a never-ending process, as a beautiful infinity loop, right? Lower chakras meeting at the heart, upper chakras, and it's never ending, always flowing to assist us, right? Do you see what I mean? How that infinity loop naturally is present in our bodies. I'm totally doing it wrong, but you know what I mean? I can't do those at the same time. So this energy always comes together at our hearts, right? So the heart is where the merge to understand from the mind. It's really, yeah, we're using our minds, and that sexual primal, our natural urge to continue expanding and growing and living as a human happens. It merges at the heart, right? We always want to keep on growing and expanding, right? That is our drive as humans, spiritually, emotionally, sexually, physically, right? It's that beautiful heart center where that merges. Our minds, our upper chakras, and then that more primal energy of our lower chakras. Now, one of the things that I have really noticed when, you know, dropping into the heart and into the body more and more, this can bring up a lot of emotions, right? It can bring up a lot of heaviness and resistance. At least this is how it was for me, because I was always so busy in my mind and always planning and doing and analyzing and thinking. And really, when I started noticing my body, it really, literally, I started to notice the sensations in my body. There was a lot of resistance and stuck energy there. It's a little hard to explain what that feels like, but when you know, once you know that you store a lot of energy and emotions in your womb space, your belly, your yoni, even your lower body, your belly, it does make sense, right? That there can be resistance and heaviness there. And it was often easier and quicker for me to just stuff down emotions and suppress them, right? Because I was too busy doing and thinking, not taking enough time or slowing down to let that slow feminine energy and inspiration and emotions rise up through me. Because often these emotions just want to be felt and expressed and felt through, moved through. And sometimes that's all that's needed with them. For example, this morning, I was just thinking about Trump. And I can feel so much anger, right? I can get so angry at, and I don't like, you know, bringing this into to this vibe, but I can get really angry at Trump, the meat industry, Monsanto. You guys know I live on a farm. There's farm lands all around me spraying chemicals, right? The whole grass, all the weeds are turning brown and dead. Just so, but what they're planting is growing fine, right? That's wrong. That is so, it pisses me off. I don't know if you can tell. But there's so many things that I can get so angry about, right? But often when we're on our spiritual journeys, we are like, oh, it's really bad to be angry, right? It's really bad to feel fear or anger or judgment. However, what I have come to understand and experience in my own life is that they're just emotions, right? My anger can be used as fuel, right? To fire up my passion for doing this kind of work, for doing the best that I can to eat a vegan diet, for example. I wouldn't say I'm 100% vegan. I'll still eat goat cheese. Don't take away goat cheese from me. But see what I mean? I'm trying to always make more conscious choices in what I use, plastic usage, those kind of things. That anger fuels those choices more and more. That anger fuels me more to step into my light, to honor myself, because that's the only way, that's the only thing that I can do, and that will ripple through, and it's for each and every one of us. That's the same, right? So emotions, going back to the topic, emotions I feel are just, they want to be expressed. They're here for a reason. We can use them to our advantage, right? Let's use our anger to our advantage and really show up more. Let it fuel our fire to make positive changes in this world that we want to see, right? So, okay, my rant is over. So a few things that helped me to move through those emotions and kind of get that stuck energy going, right? Where meditating is big. I think everyone should meditate, even just 10 minutes a day, you know? Grounding into the earth. I talked about this yesterday, about our root chakras. It helps to ground that heaviness into the earth, because I have really found that once you kind of recycle that into the soil, Mama Gaia will recycle that for you and just rejuvenate that feeling for you in a way. Does that make sense? She recycles for us. Dancing, right? Letting it all go, literally just moving my body more consciously. Even in yoga, right? Instead of just seeing us dancing and yoga as working out, I started to see it more as a movement of energy within my body as well. So both the internal and the external are moving that way. Really helped me. A few other things that helped me were seeing my own inner shadows differently. So like I just shared with the anger, I can use that to my advantage, right? To light a fire under my ass and show up more and do better, make more conscious choices all the time. But the inner shadows, we're going to talk about that in the next video, in the next lesson, because I have lots more to say about that. And we're also going to talk more about sacred sexuality and healing, which is, we'll talk about that as well in this series. That helped me a lot too. So stay tuned for that. But I really hope that you can see that this brings more wholeness in our bodies, right? It creates a clear channel between our brain and our hearts and our lower bodies. We kind of talked about that in the first lesson as well, about the lower bodies and how important that foundation is to create that clear channel with our brain and our hearts as well. the heart is also, I'm going to end with this. The heart is also where our inner masculine energies and our inner feminine energies merge, right? Like I shared, it's the middle point between our chakras. These masculine and feminine energies, they are based at our spines. It's that Kundalini snake, right? There's a masculine and a feminine snake. I like to see them as these beautiful snakes. And these energies coil up along the spine and they merge at every chakra. So that's serpent energy coiling up from our root, right, our tailbone. And these feminine and masculine serpents meet at every chakra, but at the heart, they create and strengthen this huge heart frequency, right? This electromagnetic field that I shared. So through working with that energy, feelings, body work, tantra, raising up this energy, which we'll talk more about in the Sacred Sexuality lesson, we get to strengthen that and we become more magnetic as well, right? And then those serpents go up through all the chakras and then they meet again at the third eye. It is said there's this beautiful chalice there where they meet, their heads meet their pineal gland. But that's for our Sacred Sexuality video. I hope that makes sense. I hope all this makes sense about the heart. As always, please let me know if you have any questions and stay tuned for the next video this week. I think I'm going to do the next video on Thursday on the summer solstice. And I also wanted to let you know that our podcast for the summer solstice is uploaded. So I'll do a separate post about that. As you know, we follow the Wheel of the Year. So this is our next episode, the summer solstice. It's really good. So stay tuned for that as well. And to end, I'm giving away free Untamed Beauty sessions to you. And these are 30-minute sessions with me. And they're free. And we uncover kind of where you have trouble feeling and softening. Basically what I just talked about, being so much in our minds, dropping into the body and see what difference that makes for you. We will create some alchemy together for you to start using your very powerful energy more intentionally. You can also use this time to ask me any questions or receive guidance on handling overwhelming emotions, getting unstuck, creating more calmness in that daily hustle, loving yourself deeper, feeling more present in your body, getting over fear, like whatever is present for you right now. I am here for you. So if you want to sign up, I'll leave the link. Yeah, so they're totally free, 30-minute sessions. And if you have any questions, let me know. And we'll talk soon. Much love.